It tells you that recording's in progress. No, that's not my voice. So we have a couple guests tonight. Tom Humphrey, thank you very much for joining us, and Matthew Abraham. Tom, I believe you met John Cram at your writer's course, right?
Right. We part of the Destination Business Boot Camp with John Schallert in Colorado.
Good stuff. Well, thank you very much both for joining us. I'm trying to find my rotary bell. It's hiding on my desktop somewhere. So there we go. Find the rotary bell. Get this all straight eventually. Sharing my screen. There you go. Get this thing kicked off officially, and I'll ring the bell.
That worked.
So it worked this time. Thanks again for joining us, to all of our members and to our couple guests that I see. For this, our final Rotary meeting of May, which is crazy. And so next week we will meet. It'll be our first meeting of June. So we have all of the meetings this week or this month. I will pass along that we're running short on time to sign up for the Rotary International Convention, which will be virtual starting on the 10th. So if you have not done so and you want to join the convention, please register as soon as possible. I'm not entirely sure if there are any slots open for any of the breakout sessions, but definitely peek around at those. I will be going to the Rotary Youth Exchange session because I'm real interested in this virtual exchange that they're talking about, and see how we can participate as a virtual club. Other than that, I don't have much to pass on. We do have we're going to do our induction for our new board members on, I'm going to get the date wrong. June 4th. It's on my birthday. I should have known that one. So on June 4th, you can come wish me a happy birthday and wish Godspeed and good luck to our new board members as they are inducted for 2021-22. That's all I have to share from a district and international standpoint. Does anybody have anything to add? Any happy bucks?
Oh, lots of riding lately. There's the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride last weekend. Thank you for folks who contributed. I appreciate it. First time they wouldn't accept me because I don't drive a cool enough bike, but now they've partnered with a charity with Movember Foundation. They've opened it up to people who are less cool like me.
I thought you just had to look Dapper Dan. I thought you just had to dress dapperly to do that one.
But they want you to ride a classic bike. I applied years ago on my 2001 ST1100, and they said, yeah, it's not really the right kind of bike we're looking for, so they declined me.
Well, 2001 is 20 years old. That has to be a classic, right? Isn't that's officially, you could put antique plates on that in Virginia.
Maybe I just need to wait a lot longer.
And I believe John Cram is out and about riding down in Southern Virginia. And Chris Jones, anything exciting happening for you this week?
I'm just enjoying my time down here in Florida.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I was leading the witness here. You got to give me something. So Chris Jones had his 27th birthday this week.
27th a couple of times, yep.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thanks, Keith.
We were actually down near you. Maggie and I toured schools this week. We flew into Orlando and then drove from Orlando to Fort Myers to look at Florida Gulf Coast. And then we drove up to Tampa to see University of Tampa and University of South Florida. And then we drove all the way across the state to St. Augustine to see Flagler College. And then we drove all the way back to Orlando to fly out. And I am exhausted. She better appreciate that trip.
Yes, Amanda, I do have a happy buck.
Please do share, sir.
I'm hiding myself because I'm stuffing salad down my throat. I'm now in Staunton, Virginia, on my way down to, I'm trying to meet up with Scott Nelson, but he's a week ahead of me, down to Little Switzerland in North Carolina. I was able to work around 3 thunderstorms today.
But this week you have gasoline there. You had a problem with that the previous.
I ran into one station just before I got to my hotel. They said, sorry, we're out of high test. And that's what I use. but the next one a block down had it.
Yeah, we're back to pretty much everywhere around here, Scott. That's part of the reason I was gonna ride down to Richmond the other day. I guess last week, and I was like, nope, because I can get down there. I can't get back.
We raided the Walmart at something like 9 a.m. The Wednesday morning, and we loaded up a 20-gallon rolling tank and a bunch of 5s and 2.5-gallon tanks. And nobody helped us.
Just for the trip for you guys that are on the ride.
Yeah, it all worked out, but it was touch
I
and go.
I had a good excuse to ride my bike to work all week, though. I mean, that was nice. It's nice.
Price of gas in Maryland has gone down 6 cents this week.
How much did it jump? Because it's over $3 where I am.
Just almost 3, and it went down 6 cents over the weekend.
That's
No,
nice.
I don't want to hear anybody crying about $3 gas.
I was gonna say, where are my Californians about to chime
And now
in here?
California wants to raise their gas tax again.
I filled up yesterday when it's 4.5 for high test.
So
I was lucky.
Tom,
I got it for $4.30.
there's one gas station in downtown DC, right in the center of town, that's always that price. And I always wonder, like, who is it that just can't possibly drive the 3 miles to Virginia and go get cheaper gas? But they're doing it. Oh, Chris, how is it cheaper in the Keys than it is in the real world? That's not real gas.
It just is,
That's crazy.
but it's gone up almost 50 cents since we've been here.
Oh, yeah.
Good thing that we all drive motorcycles. Makes me want to park the Wrangler.
Well, I paid $2.99 in Richmond for premium at Sam's Club on Thursday. And then I paid $2.64 at Sam's Club for regular here yesterday.
So wait, on Thursday, you were halfway to my house and you didn't
I
even,
was in Richmond, yes, Thursday. Had to do a deposition, so I was kind of tied up,
you're busy.
but I did ride.
Tom Humphrey, can I put you on the spot to introduce yourself?
Sure.
I did without asking, actually.
Tom Humphrey, Southern Oregon, 150-year-old gold mining town of Jacksonville, Oregon, in the Medford metropolitan area, which is not too huge. Rogue Valley. I am part of the Central Point Rotary Club. I'm the community development director for the city of Central Point. And we just had our Rotary Club meeting today. We're getting ready for our annual pig picking auction, which is coming up in June. And that's our big fundraiser for the year. We had to cancel last year. So this year we're starting to come out of the most everybody's vaccinated. We're coming out of the COVID lockdown, and we hope to have a successful event in June. I ride a Harley Road King. I've got an 03 Road King. I also have a Gilroy Indian 99 and a Harley Springer, which is a 03. And I'm planning a little trip with my building official. We're going to visit some buddies in, we're going into Eastern Oregon, and the one fellow's coming from Montana. So we've ridden the last couple of years into Idaho, Montana, and Eastern Oregon, and it's beautiful.
That's awesome. So did I misspeak earlier? How did you find out about our club?
I think John's the one that said, "Oh, you're
Okay.
right." I saw him on a Zoom meeting, and he had his motorcycle as his backdrop. And I asked him if it was an Indian, and he says, "How did you know that?" And so I said, "Well."
Okay, so it was John. I had thought I had misspoken. He met a couple people at his writer's course a couple weeks ago and introduced us. And then when you said you were in Oregon, I was like, oh, maybe I got that wrong.
Yeah, no, he and I connected through John Schallert's Destination Business boot camps, what he's got going on. And I usually take business owners from the city out to Colorado for a 3-day kind of intensive to help them think of their businesses in more in terms of a destination and how to get there. And that's among one of my responsibilities as a planner here. So enjoy it. Everybody else has enjoyed it. It kind of has galvanized our downtown. And John's been on those calls, or he's been
Fantastic.
working with John as I have, so.
So I've never been to Oregon. It's one of the 3 that I haven't visited. So I'm gonna have to add it to the list.
Yeah, Oregon coast is famous, beautiful. The Columbia River Gorge, coming from Idaho, between Oregon and Washington's pretty. Yeah, you'd
My-
love it. And the
My
gas.
my personal sommelier hasn't shown up with my wine yet, but I'm a big Oregon wine. So. Did you say the gas is cheap out there?
Yeah, and the other thing I'll promote, since you're talking about wine, we have the Rogue Creamery. I don't know if any of you were aware, but it's the first American cheese producer to have beat out an Italian company and a cast of about 34 other entrants for the best cheese in the world. That was I think it was last year. So we do a blue vein cheese, blue cheese and cheddars. So if you come out here, we'll give you wine and cheese.
I'm down. I'm there. Done. I usually make my own wine with the WH. Is that done?
I just realized I did something kind of out of the blue over the weekend. I bought a two motorcycle trailer over the weekend with one of my friends. So now that's kind of opened up a whole line of discussion about, so where do we want to go that we don't want to ride to, but we can ride from. So just one more thing for me to ensure.
We've talked about that. John Cram just mentioned offhand that maybe I could store a trailer at his place. So I'm kind of been on the lookout.
It turned out one of the riders in my group had one for sale, and it was a really, really good price, and it was in really, really, really good condition. And so, and it was one of those things over the last couple of years, we kept saying, yeah, we'd really like to do that. We'd really like to buy one. It would make certain things easier. Well, opportunity came, and so there I was. And I by the way, I didn't tell my husband. So it was like, oh yeah, by the way, I bought a trailer today. Oh, okay.
Mike's the one that keeps kind of pushing me. So Tom, I ride an Indian. I have a Scout. My husband has a Royal Enfield Himalayan. We couldn't possibly have gotten more polar opposites, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna go on all these long rides, and he's like, put, like I can't do that. So he's on a mission to find us a trailer so that he can trailer down to wherever we're going.
Good plan.
I'm on a mission to just get him on a Scout, get him on something. But he took my bike out the other day, and he's like, I don't think I like it.
I think Enfield tried to get the Indian copyright, if I'm not mistaken, or they were producing them before the California Motorcycle Company got the copyright in 99.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Right,
they were
they
making it in Gilroy, California. Garlic.
Yep,
capital.
I've had garlic ice cream. I was stationed in Monterey for 1.5 years, so I've unfortunately been forced to choke down some garlic ice cream a time or two when I was there.
Garlic ice cream. Ugh.
Yeah, not
You were
great.
there way after I was, weren't you, Amanda?
I was there from 99 to 01,
Oh, yeah, way after I was.
just a couple of years after you, Scott. And then who else? There's somebody else in the group who was there. I can't remember. Jim, was it you? Who else was at DLI? Can't remember. So yeah, we're definitely on the hunt for a trailer, but I live in a suburb of DC. I have a condo, so my 1-car garage is a 2-bike garage. I don't have much other space.
We solved that problem. We built a barn. So now we got 3 trailers and toy hauler and all the motorcycles.
I got lucky because a friend of ours just bought 2.5 acres about probably about 20 minutes from where I live. And so it was like, hey, do you mind? And he was like, no, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, go ahead and use it. And so I got lucky that way. I'm looking at the house next door that's got 7 acres. So it's like, what could I do then?
Yeah, Jeff solved that problem. We just rent out space in the barn to pay for the barn. So,
Good idea. Really good idea.
yeah.
So hi, good evening together. We had the same think about it, with the trailer and everything, because the last time we was in Carolina, we was 3 days going and then we was totally wet, and then I think, when you only want to go somewhere and you have nothing to ride on, for example, we visit my brother and sister-in-law and they not riding. So I knew we go over there and then we stay there and we will not ride any mile. And then we ride back on the way home. That makes not really sense. So I said, and Deb and I talked also about it because we said, especially what Jim makes a ride in August or July. It's July, right?
Right.
We said, oh, it's a little bit long, but if we have a trailer, we could do it, something like this.
Wait, so does this mean you're coming now?
Oh, wait. But that's yeah, you need to cover that also, right? So, but last weekend, a Rotary IFMR member asked us to, help him out with this one project. And the weather was again not nice, but we said, don't worry. If we have a fundraiser, we go. It doesn't matter how the weather is. And so we was going, and then we meet one guy, and he's not riding very often since he have his house in Galveston, because then they are on the beach all the time, So, and he have a big. And we talked about the trailers, and he was like, and I said, yeah, you have a trailer, right? And he said, yeah, it's pretty much big enough that your bikes would fit both inside. And I said, oh, do you rent them from time to time? So he told me, Doc Nino, I think he's not an IFMR member. I hope to get him in the IFMR. And he said, whenever you want, you can have him.
So you're coming in August.
I didn't check that already because it was last Saturday. It's a thing to think about it, because when you have a trailer, you can do it, but I would not ride this, especially in the season. The problem is,
I was just gonna say, the problem is the storms, right, that pop up.
Yeah, this is a problem,
Hell,
Otherwise-
it's been raining here for like 10 days. for
I was
God's
gonna say,
sake.
did you build an ark, Deb? Is it?
Just about. It's been horrible. And now I'm trying to think, I'm watching the weather over the weekend because we've been hoping to ride. And it's like,
Yeah.
Okay, are we going to get rain? Is it going to, it's the other day on Monday here, it opened up and it rained 5 inches. I mean, there's nowhere for this water to go. I mean, we're like, okay, all you can do is just watch it and hope that they clean the drains and, it will go somewhere other than my yard and street.
Yeah.
So I accidentally stepped all over Ron Mead. I invited him tonight to speak to us and give us a foundation update. And then I just went full happy hour, like wasn't even paying attention. So I apologize, Ron. So if you're ready, sir, I will turn it
Well,
back.
it's a happy topic. So
It is a happy talk. Like I'm gonna stop everybody from being happy and make Ron to give us an update on the foundation.
Yeah. So happy's done.
Happy's
it's me
over.
now. Yeah. But we've all heard a lot about the foundation, so I really didn't want to just kind of drone on about that. And I was trying to look for something to be a little bit more interesting. So I thought I kind of searched the internet for some things that were kind of just random facts. And, some of them are kind of old, but I went with what I could find. And as we all know, you go with the facts that kind of bolster your own opinion or your point anyway. So I know there's a lot of people that have a lot more knowledge about the foundation than I do. So jump in anytime and correct me if you find something that is incorrect. So we're going to have a little quiz. So to start with, what year did the Polio Plus program start, and what does the plus signify, or what does that stand for?
John Cram?
I think John can't play.
We're going to mute John, and I was going to mute Chris too, but he's gone.
John doesn't know the answer to this question. He's heard it before.
Okay, John.
I was just gonna say, we just had somebody tell it. We just had the gentleman who presented last week tell us what this plus stood for.
John Nanny.
John Nanny, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it started in 1985, and the plus is they were going to do other vaccines other than just the polio. You know, they were going to
And the
do
vitamin
other things.
supplements.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So there was a program that my understanding, the way I read about it, was kind of a precursor to the Polio Plus. It was started by a particular president of a club. Does anybody have any idea what that was? There was a club in home, and the president kind of took on wanted to do a vaccination project. And the first vaccinations they did were in the Philippines in 1980. And then it kind of morphed. I think that morphed into the Polio Plus. So jumping a little different topic, what year was the Paul Harris Fellow program started? Anybody know? John, you know that? 1957. Okay. And what was the amount that you had to contribute to become a Paul Harris Fellow in 1957?
I believe it was $1,000 back then.
You win the prize. It was $1,000 back then. So what would you have to contribute now to contribute the equivalent of what a Paul Harris Fellow was in 1957?
Well, a brand new Cadillac back then cost, I think, about $3,500. So do the math.
Yep. According to Google, you'd have to contribute $9,437. So, you know, the people that were Paul Harris Fellows back then, it was a pretty, I mean, it's a commitment now, but it was really a commitment back then. In 2004, they started the Every Rotarian Every Year program. They set a goal where there was $100 per capita per club in contributions. And what the most recent year I could find, what do you think the annual amount that they get from that program is?
Just from EREY?
Yes. I mean, this is what it could be wrong, but that's what I understood. Go for it. What do you think?
I don't know. EREY is everybody gives something, minimum of 25, and then a sustaining member is 100, but I don't know the total. Or am I taking away your thunder?
I feel like it was close to 40 million, right?
116 million.
Oh, just kidding. That's not
close. Is what they said.
So close, Amanda.
That's so close.
Yeah. At least you're guessing. Okay, now
it was
what
a
was
multiple.
the country for the every Rotarian every year with the per capita giving? What country was the #1 club in? And this is old news, but it was all I could find. 2012, 2013 year. What was the country that the top club was in?
England?
I'd have to guess. I'd guess Japan.
I thought it was India.
Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Really?
I was surprised when I heard that.
Yeah, and it was and the per capita was $5,915.
Wow.
And in 2010, the top club was in Arizona, but 4 out of the top 10 clubs were in Taiwan. So, you know, those two things kind of, I guess I always kind of think that, and I'm guilty of this myself, and I don't know whether other people are or not, but kind of think that the clubs in the US kind of support the organization and are, you know, kind of help out the clubs in the other countries. And I think to some extent that's true, but certainly not, you know, not totally true. Let's see.
I just want to share that the average annual household income per capita in Bangladesh is about $600 US. So
and that's today.
Perspective.
Yeah. So this is 8 years ago. So whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
So just talking about the Paul Harris Fellow, I just wanted to recognize James Dodmead for his 6th, I think, is Jim? your sixth Paul Harris Fellow that you just got. And this isn't a formal presentation, but I did want to mention that and thank you. And
Can
it was
I,
5 or 6. I
it's
wasn't
5,
sure
it's
which.
5, Jim. Here it is.
5.
It's 5.
Yeah, it's actually 6.
Yeah, we
That
get
would
the
be-
five,
That would be
the 5
6.
stones at 6. Yeah.
Oh, it's 6. Yeah, you're sorry.
6.
You're right, you're sorry.
And my final thing is I just wanted to remind you that there is a match if you make a contribution to the Paul Harris Fellow as a Paul Harris Fellow, and you ask for it. There is some matching points for the club if you do that. And if you're interested in that, let me know, or let Amanda know, or let the distinguished gentleman know, and we'll be good. So that's it.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you for
Sorry,
your
Jim, that
attention.
I wasn't able to get that to you before the meeting tonight. We'll do a for you. We're talking about doing it on the ride, so I'm kind of ruining the thunder, stealing the thunder there.
Congratulations, Jim.
Can we take a minute and let Mickey talk about the trees?
Yes, for sure. Mickey, talk about trees for us.
Gotta unmute myself. I don't know if I have much to say other than I did fill out the paperwork. I got some comments back from everybody. It didn't change the document other than maybe some spelling and grammatical errors. So it didn't change the document by leaps and bounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the suggested changes. And is that all I need to submit? That just one document, one application? And I
Yes.
just email that in? There's no preface or introduction, or just mail that form in?
Yep, just mail a form in. Let me verify that that's correct, but that was my understanding. But I'll go back to the website real quick and make sure that I hit all the buttons. We've already done
Okay,
it, but we did return the signed memorandum of understanding, right?
Yes, you did. I am assuming you did. You said you did.
If I said I did, I did. If I said
Okay.
I will, I probably didn't.
Okay.
I did, it's
You
done.
said you did.
Okay.
And I know Uta signed it and you did. So I have a copy of the signed. I can add it to the documents when I send it, just to confirm if that helps.
No, it's fine. I'll make sure that I sent it. I'll let you know otherwise.
Okay, because there was a little bit of a discussion about who it needed to be sent to, and I think we cleared that up back in the day. So I thank everybody for their assistance. I think Rory was going to put in the meeting minutes, Rory is going to add our portion of, well, I think he was going to put the whole 450 into our budget just in case the dollars didn't come through. But if the grant dollars come through, then we'll have it covered in the budget, probably a little extra. And while we've got Ron on the phone, I'm trying to find in our document, there was a ask Ron something, and I'm going, before I let him go, I've got to find my minutes because there was something in there about asking Ron. So don't leave, Ron. I got to find my notes. So let me see if I can find the club runner documents, because there was something in the to-do list on that. And I think for the most part, I did contact Jerry at the museum, and I gave him the information on the rotary wheel and our wording preference, and confirmed that he got it. I don't know what he's done with it thus far, but he did say he received it and would go ahead and give that information to his printer and sign guy. So, and from what I understand, the intent was to plant 2 trees and partially plant the 3rd tree. So when we get there, depending on the suggestion of the nursery, we may be shoveling dirt into a partially planted tree, and we may be planting or putting in the signage. So, but we're not going to plant all 3 trees. It'll be just a 3rd tree. But 2 of the trees will probably already be planted. And that's all I know for now.
Do-do-do, do-do-do.
Do-do-do.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you for doing all that. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Can I talk a little bit about the ride?
Please do.
I'm hoping to send a survey out, trying to get numbers of who wants to go to what restaurants, what meals, things like that. There's a brewery right next to the hotel now. We probably won't want to go to that based on the membership, right?
Oh, no. We don't like breweries. We don't like breweries.
I thought you were serious. I was missing. I was like, why wouldn't we want to go?
So I've already made a reservation for J. Arthur's for Saturday night for 30 people. And that's going to be part of the survey as well. And we're going to try and ascertain whether you want to be part of the spirited group or if you want to be part of the reasonable group. We're going to have to separate into 2 groups of riders. So we're going to try and figure that out. Tom Kale and I are also talking about a potential ride to Key West, but in January, it's kind of pricey down there that time of year. We're talking about a potential ride to an organized ride in South America. We're going to check and see if people are interested in that. I know John has already expressed an interest. And then I think in 2024, the International Convention is going to be in Melbourne, Australia. So I'm kind of bugging the Australian guys to see if I can get them to set up a ride down there. So anyway, that's some of the stuff that's going on, but I hope you answer the survey so we can try and get our reservations all set up for breakfast and dinner and things like that. And we have 3 routes set up. We're planning on going on a ride Friday morning, going to a Rotary lunch and meeting, followed by a short ride Friday afternoon. Saturday, we have a short ride in the morning. We're going to go to lunch in Cashiers, a really nice brewery there. And we're going to come back on another short ride. We're going to have the ceremony at the Wheels Through Time Museum, followed by dinner at J. Arthur's. We were talking about doing a ride Sunday morning and going to the Wheels Through Time. But I thought if anybody's interested, maybe I would do a workshop on riding a sidecar late Sunday morning or something like that if people are interested in that. So I might put that on the survey too, because I'll have my sidecar right up there then. Does anybody have any questions or suggestions?
Sounds like it's gonna be a good time.
Matthew, do you have a question?
Yeah,
Hello?
I don't know when this is happening, where this is happening. I'm sorry.
I can send you, I will put the link to the ride in the chat. But the ride is happening in Maggie Valley, North Carolina at the end of August.
Okay, that's the one you mentioned earlier, August event.
Yes. It's a memorial ride for 2 of our riders that have passed away. And we're also donating a tree for the founder of the Wheels Through Time Museum in Maggie Valley, Dale Waxler.
Did you mention the dates in August?
26 to 29.
Okay.
There you go. For anybody who's interested, I just posted the registration link in the chat.
That's all I have.
people do
Thank
you
you.
have? You're welcome. How many people do you have signed up now, Jim?
30 people.
Nice.
I'm not sure how many motorcycle that equates to, but there's some passengers and there's some couples that both people have bikes, things like that. So
Hey, Jim, what, do you know some of the trails that you're going to be taking us on?
Tom knows that. I know we're on Saturday we're going to Cashiers. which is a nice area. I spent a lot of time in the Cashiers area. And then we're going to be coming back in a different way from Cashiers. I think he's talking about the Blue Ridge Parkway on Friday. But I can send you the routes.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I think there's more routes in North Carolina than anybody could possibly do in a lifetime.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, I've been out there a bunch of times. It's a long way from California to get there, especially for a working guy. But the roads are
Especially if you have to replace your motorcycle in the middle of the ride.
Or if you have a flat tire, back tire, like my husband had when he was there on the way back.
Did you tell your story, Scott?
replacing the bike, which.
Didn't one of your buddies have his breakdown?
Oh,
Did you just say which story? Like, how many stories do you have where you had to replace a bike halfway through a ride, Scott Nelson?
There was one of the guys on our ride who threw his GS off an embankment and 30 yards down into a creek bed. Unfortunately, he was still up on the shoulder, but that bike was done. He had rode it out, or I think he actually rode it out from Montana to join the ride a couple weeks ago.
So did he get a new bike or fly home, or what did he do?
Well, I think he let the insurance handle it back there in Little Switzerland, where we're at, that area. But then he got a rental car, a one-way rental car back home.
Can you all see this?
Yes.
All the dark,
clearly, but
all the dark areas are rides, and this is one of two maps.
Is that Wayne Bush's map?
Wildrides.in. I don't see a title. I can't answer that. I don't know.
Yeah, he came and talked to us one time. He's got a set of, I don't know, like 12 different maps you can get.
This could be, it's under wildride.info.
So here's all the contraband I've got from the week there. I mean, John, I can send this to you or anybody else if you want.
Yeah, that's the ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we did have a question. Mickey was able to find it in our notes from the last board meeting. We were talking about if we were to do a fundraiser as a club, and so the ride where you are on September 25th is why this came up. If we were to do a fundraiser for Polio Plus as a club, is there a way for us to donation to Polio Plus as a club, or to evenly distribute it between?
Not my dog, not my dog.
No, that's Matthew. I'm totally calling him out. My dog just came in my office.
But you said your dog did not growl.
That sounds like a happy dog.
Sounds like a dog that wants attention.
All right. So anyway, Ron, is there a way for us as a club to make a donation to Polio Plus, or if not, can we evenly distribute the donations across the club for people who participated?
I would have to check on that. I'm certainly not an expert, but I would imagine that the club could, if you wish to do it that way.
John?
Because I think our club,
There is
does.
There is a multi-donor form that you can use. If all the money goes into a club account and then the club writes the check to Polio Plus, you just include a multi-donor form with everybody's member number and name.
Okay. And how it should be distributed?
Yes.
John, that brings up the question, those of us that are associate members of this club, but have all of our documents, if you will, with our home club. How does that work as far as foundation contributions?
It gets credited like to the annual fund. If you donate to the annual fund, the DDF will go to your home district, not to the motorcycling district. Of course, you don't get, with Polio Plus, your district and your home club get the credit, not this club. That's for the associates only, which makes it incumbent upon Ron and Amanda to get out and beat the bushes and get the regular members to make donations.
Yep. The meetings will continue until morale and donations to Polio Plus improve.
The absolute easiest way is to go onto My Rotary and set up periodic payments on your credit card. You can do annual, quarterly, or monthly. The sad part is for each fund, you have to go through the process separately. So if you wanted, let's say you wanted to do, I think, I'm not sure what the minimum is, but let's just say you want to do $25 a month to the annual fund. You'd have to go in and do it that way. And then if you wanted to donate it to Polio Plus, you'd have to come out and go back in and set it up. It's an easy process. It's just you can't designate separate funds on the same transaction. But it's just Google My Rotary.
Yeah. So that, I think that answers the question, Keith, that we had at the board meeting about splitting funds up. I think what would need to happen then is we would need to talk internally about, you know, if associate members were involved in the fundraising activities, would they want to have their name put on there with their numbers, and then it would go to their home district, which we can talk about. I don't personally have any issue with that. We're all from so many different districts, but as far as return for district designated funds, you know, that's something we'll need to talk about.
I guess that's my concern. I donate through my home club and my home district, but when I'm doing a ride with the motorcycling Rotarians, if we're doing any donations, I want that contributed to motorcycle Rotarians, not back to my home club.
And there's a way to do that, and that is just to keep your name off the multiple donor form and make it a club donation. Because the foundation would like each club to donate at least, now my expertise is Polio Plus, each club to donate at least $1,500, but that's on an average throughout a district. So what district is this club in?
6380.
How big is the biggest club? Do you know?
Fairly large.
Well over 100, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, well over, more like 300.
They're going to have an easier time raising $1,500 than say a club that's got 10 members. So they're looking within a district, on average, each club donate $1,500. And you could do that by just running it through the club account, Keith.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, so when we do, if we end up doing a ride where and like we talked about doing on the 25th, also doing that as a fundraiser for Polio Plus, we'll need to discuss how we're going to set that up as far as donation goes.
So we want to do that here at the 25th for the polio ride, you know, so, and hopefully it's depend on the weather like every time, but so normally we have something most of the time around 9,000 up for this one ride. So, and it would come totally to for our club, you know.
Right. Yep.
Hopefully.
That's good stuff. So I told you guys that I was going to put you on the spot this week and say, hey, who wants to be the sponsor in their area for our Ride Where You Are ride on the 25th of September? So I'm going to raise my hand and say, I've got whatever we decide my area is. I've got the John Cram, Amanda, Rob, and Glenn area in the DMVP, the Delmarva plus Pennsylvania pieces. So what I'm asking for from you guys is that the plan on the 25th of September is truly Ride Where You Are. And if you happen to be by yourself, all alone, that's fine too. I am going to leave it up to you guys what you want to do, but I would like it to be a ride to do something environmentally related, right? So we're going to do a river cleanup in our area. You can do whatever you want in your area, but the plan was to do the ride, have a cleanup of some flavor or, you know, whatever you want to do in your area. And then we all get together virtually for lunch. And the lunch will be a World's Greatest Meal fundraiser like John Nanny spoke about last week. So we're kind of hitting all the blocks, get it all done at the same time. But it's an excuse, like I said, I'm hoping that we get outside of our Rotarians or motorcycling Rotarians bubble. Have a conversation with your local club, your local brick and mortar club, get them involved if there are anybody out there who rides. And frankly, the way I'm going to try to set it up where we are is that we ride and then come back to my local area or somewhere around the local area so people who don't ride can participate as well. But I will again say, please don't just look at Rotarians, also look at any motorcycle clubs that are in your area. If there's a dealership in your area, I'll get some flyers together, I'll send them out, I'll make them, they'll be in a Word format so that you can edit them to make it for your local area, times, locations, etc. But, kind of get our name out there. I'm hoping by that point I'll have where's Emilio, did you put your motorcycling Rotarians badge or patch on your jacket or your IFMR patch? I see it. Yep. So Emilio's got
I
his
sure
IFMR
did, right there.
Yep. And so everybody who's a member of IFMR should have a patch. And I believe you should have a motorcycling Rotarians patch if you're a member of our club as well.
And you get 2 decals also. I put one on my car and one on my motorcycle, the decals that we got. And I think also, I got the pin also, the member pin. So I got the pin as well up there.
Yep. So this is a chance for us to get our name out. I think a lot of people don't know who we are just yet. John Graham, you can have Twig up in Hagerstown and I'll take Dulles down. Go ahead.
I have my my other hog patch too.
Yep.
But usually they ask me about this one, and I tell them the Rotary Club motorcycles.
Is there a minimum donation to this thing, Amanda?
I haven't thought about it yet. Welcome any ideas of what you guys had. I mean, the real fundraising piece was more the world's greatest meal piece.
I have $100. Everybody have to bring $100 or more, to participate on the ride.
Well, your ride better be good because my ride's probably going to be like a 3-mile loop around my neighborhood. Okay.
Oh, no.
And that's why I recruited you, John.
Nice try.
So
I know.
Is $100 is that a number that everybody would feel comfortable with? It seems a little high for me.
I think that's fair to start.
I'm sorry, how much?
I was going to go 25.
Yeah, I was thinking since we don't really have any overhead with this one, I think I have to participate.
So do I get to buy myself a t-shirt that says I rode around my block 3 miles? I rode mine around my block 3 miles.
Amanda, I thought we were meeting in the middle.
Yeah, well, that's what we're gonna have to try to figure out. I think we're gonna have to figure out what our local area is, Matthew. So, I mean, our area keeps expanding.
And for non-Rotarians, we probably ought to set up a GoFundMe account.
For non-Rotary.
Or actually, no, there's a Raised Rotary.
Yeah, there's a Raised Rotary and I think they're able to just donate, so.
Yeah.
Or they can donate directly to the club unless I'm mistaken. Rory's not on. But I believe they can also donate directly to the club through our website and to our club account where we can make a donation through there. Linda.
I'm talking about, can non-Rotarians do that?
Yep, it's just a pay now, donate now link that's on our website. So
upper left of the website.
Yep, so already set up, we wouldn't have to worry about any fees. The Raised Rotary doesn't have any fees either, but the one that we use is directly through our bank.
How about the left coast? What's going on over there with you liberals?
I'll plan a ride for myself.
Good things.
I was gonna say, it'd be nice to say that Tom Humphrey and Ron Reed and Scott and Linda are all gonna get together and ride, but what's the midpoint for you? I think you'd each have to ride about 7,000 miles.
No, we were just, Scott and I were just chatting. He's out of Alameda and I was just about to say, I had buddies fly into San Francisco, get, motorcycles and come up through the redwoods along the coast. And then you come up toward Grants Pass and then the back way into Jacksonville is just, it's all beautiful country. You got a lot of redwoods up there. You come along. And then if you continue up the coast of Oregon, it's just gorgeous. Northern California.
You'll have to pick up Ron on your way up.
But
Where's-
as we Westies go. I'm
South,
kind
he's
of-
starting, he's down in South, he's,
Ron
yeah.
could meet me up in, mid
Yeah.
coast.
Yeah, we could
I
meet
could pick Scott up.
Arcata, well, Eureka or somewhere south there, that's
Gold Beach.
happy to come down. Yeah, I was in Gold Beach 2 weeks ago, so. But
I was
Scott,
gonna
as
say,
far as Scott's concerned, you can rendezvous somewhere down there on the North California coast. Easy, in the redwoods.
well, what I'll do, you
I
guys.
was gonna
I'll get-
suggest we go on over to Baker City since you like Eastern Oregon.
Yeah, well, I'm heading to John Day in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Is that where
So
you are?
Yeah, Anthony's Lakes up. We go up there and we ride up there periodically.
And where do you live, Ron?
Santa Margarita, it's down by San Luis Obispo,
Yeah,
just above Santa Barbara.
yeah, okay.
But we try and distance ourselves from both of those towns.
Well, I have two stepsons and their families in Santa Barbara. It's beautiful to visit.
Yeah, exactly. No, my town's like a 1,200 population. It's a little different in Santa Barbara.
How many
Yeah.
motorcycles in your town, Ron?
Quite a few actually.
Yeah, I figured.
And this
So-
is,
so
we're
we're
right
right-
on Highway 50. We're right on Highway 58. So the local coffee shop is a meeting place that is real popular for bikes.
Nice. So,
Just looking up on the map,
Ride
Tom, it's actually
captains.
not that far from the border.
No, we're Ashland is on actually our city manager commutes from Wairika every day, so it's about a 50-minute drive for him. He lives in Northern California, commutes to Southern. So yeah, Ashland is pretty much 15 miles over the border and then you're in the valley, so.
And that stretch of 5 is actually kind of nice. It's not like, Southern Cal, the 5, where it's just kind of an armpit. It's just a tool to get somewhere.
Yeah, well, 101 is even prettier, so.
Mhm.
so you guys will get an email from me sometime this weekend.
All right,
Try to send it before I get too many bottles of wine in, so it's coherent. But what you have then is a request for volunteers to be ride captains in your area. I'll give you a blank template. I'll give you a template for a ride flyer that you guys can fill out based on what you're looking for. Again, the date is September 25th. Preferably a ride in the morning with some sort of cleanup event or whatever you want to float around. And then lunch, we'll probably do lunch around 2 o'clock, which will allow, we'll do lunch around 3 o'clock, which will allow our West Coast folks to join it at a reasonable time instead of having to ride at 5 o'clock in the morning. We'll do lunch.
So
So,
let me get this straight. I'm gonna ride from Santa Margarita to Oregon, go on a ride, do a project and be ready for lunch at 11.
100%.
you're telling me?
Yeah, Ron.
Okay, perfect.
We can play
Perfect.
with it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work that way. That's fine. But the world's greatest meal thing does not have to be all at the same time. It would be nice to get as many of us on the same Zoom call as possible to get a picture and make a big deal out of it.
If us Westies make a long weekend of it, I'm in for it because I'm still working,
Yeah. So however you guys want to plan it, I just someday around the 25th, as many of us on the 25th as possible, and as many of us on the same Zoom call doing lunch together as possible. And I know that it's not going to be ideal. It's not going to be perfect where everybody's going to be at the same time. I highly doubt that our friend who joins us from London will be riding at the same time with us. Just saying. But I'll send that stuff out this weekend.
Cool.
So as we wrap up the meeting, reminder that next Friday is our induction ceremony for the board members. So we'll have a meeting on Wednesday, a regular meeting on Wednesday, and then another happy hour meeting, the happiest hour of the year, where I get to hand everything off to Uta on Friday evening. I believe we decided on 8 o'clock. It should be on the in an invite that everybody should have gotten. If you did not get an invite, please let me know, and we'll send it. It's also on our Facebook page as an event. So I have not picked on Mickey Schaller to.
Oh, you have, so you picked on me a lot, but that's okay.
So
The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. One, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And 5, is it fun?
Matthew and Tom, thank you guys very much for joining us. You are welcome to join us at any time. I'm gonna probably spam you every Tuesday night or Monday or Wednesday morning with an invite now that I have you.
No
And
problem.
Well, thanks. Well, John told me that the fifth meeting of the month is the happy hour one, so you might find me at that one.
fourth meeting, this one. Fourth meeting's a happy hour. Fifth Wednesday, we don't have a meeting. So,
Okay.
so if he invited you to the 5th Wednesday, you may want to friendship with John.
And John, nice meeting everybody.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
too.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good one.